in South Liverpool's Wavertree area, sandwiched between Smithdown Road and Picton Road and High Street. It's one of the first purpose-built public playgrounds in Britain, Wavertree Playground, also known as the Mystery or Picton Park. Prior to the park getting built, the area between Smithdown Road and Picton Road was covered with tightly packed housing with hardly any open space. So much so that the Liverpool Daily Post commented Wavertree had the brick and mortar plague, with streets of cottages awkwardly fitted in anyway, and villainous looking waste, and stagnant pools and hillocks of tipped rubbish. Along Princess Alfred Road, then known as Cowes Lane, was a large merchant palace known as the Grange, on the land near Hunter's Lane. From 1852 it was home to Samuel R. Graves, a wealthy merchant born in Ireland. There's a statue of him inside St George's Hall. Interestingly, Wavertree was an independent township until 1895, when it was absorbed by the city of Liverpool, which was only granted city status 15 years earlier in 1880. So the same year Wavertree became part of Liverpool in 1895, and over 20 years after Samuel Graves passed away, the Grange estate was demolished and its grounds bought by house builders like other mansions around the village. Originally the land had comprised of farms and several private houses and other land. Suddenly on 20th May 1895, it was announced that an anonymous private donor had purchased the estate together with some adjoining properties and was donating the whole 108 acres to the city of Liverpool. Acting through agent James Rhind, who was authorised to make the necessary transfer and oversee the scheme, the donor levelled and grassed the area and got rid of an ornamental lake which was here, so it could be suitable for various outdoor games. The whole place was surrounded by iron fencing carried out by Morton & Co. Young trees were planted and other horticultural decorations implemented by Dickinson's of Chester. Many of the older and inconveniently placed trees were cut down and removed. Some of the houses were remodeled and converted into suitable accommodation for the park keepers, and a number of toilets were built. A cafe with a kitchen, similar to that found in nearby Sefton Park, was also built, and a number of seats were placed throughout the park. It was decided no vehicles were allowed in the park. The donor also suggested the name Wavertree Playground and hoped the venue would be used for organised sports and play area for children. During this period, Liverpool already had many Victorian parks like Princess Park, Newsham Park, Sefton Park, etc., which were grand and elegant and where the fashionable can be seen, but it didn't have one dedicated to sports only. The benefactor had hoped Liverpool Corporation would give the idea a fair trial before appropriating it for any other use. Naturally, the donor's offer was accepted by the corporation, especially as it came with no conditions. On 4th September 1895, at the monthly meeting of the City Council at the Town Hall on High Street, a stone's throw away from the park, various issues were discussed, including naming of the park, cost, and whether the opening ceremony should be public or private. Among the attendees on that day were Alderman Bowring, Sir A. B. Fullwood, Alderman F. Smith, and James Rhind. It was decided that they'll stick to the donor's wish and call the park Wavertree Playground. Easy, Tiger. What's going on? So 3 days later, Wavertree Playground was opened by Lord Mayor on Saturday 7th of September 1895, making it one of the first purpose-built public playgrounds in Britain. It was a grand affair. The ceremony began at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when the Lord Mayor met members of the City Council and others for lunch in the Town Hall. Then, headed by the police band, a procession passed to the grounds where the chairman of the Parks and Gardens Committee presented the Lord Mayor with a gold key as a memento of the occasion and as a request to declare the ground open. Our town clerk read out the letter offering the playground to the city and the acceptance by the City Council before the Mayor formally opened the new park. A battery of the 4th Lancashire Artillery Volunteers fired a salute and school kids marched past the Lord Mayor accompanied by various bands. The Lord Mayor had issued invitation to 5,000 guests who were each entitled to bring 2 children as long as they attended a school in Liverpool, thus totaling 10,000 kids. A further 2,000 children were allowed from such institutions as the Indefatigable, Seamen's Orphanage, Canon Major Leicester's Institution, etc. So on that day, a total of 12,000 children marched and they were fed cakes and milk. A song written by John Gambriel Nicholson was sung by a choir of 1,000 children, accompanied by the Liverpool Constabulary Band. The remaining children joined the chorus. After that, a gymnastic exhibition by Liverpool Gymnasium, Morris dancing by Preston Morris Dancers, and children's sports followed. The Lord Mayor and Lady Mayoress handed out prizes to winners and runners-up in the sports.
Yes, boys, come along. What's our tactics for the game?
Pace abuse.
Stop position. Yes. I'm saying we take their soul, lad, yeah? No messing. We get some respect, you know, from them, you know what I'm saying, yeah? They need to put some respect on our name, yeah? So I reckon we should pass and move and then score. What does that sound like?
Tiki-taka.
Yeah, tiki-taka, but Bengali style, lads, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you ready for it?
Yeah.
Bismillah, let's go, boys. Whoa, let's go under.
Pressure! Pressure! Don't let him!
I'm with you, behind you. I'm down. Go! Give it to me. I'm just... Carry on. It's still in.
Yeah! Shut it high!
Go, Hamza.
Yes! I'm here!
Use them.
Oh.
That's it, now go. Use your face. Use your hand. Go down the hand. Go. Go for him. Easy ball, Ray. Oh, come on. Move it to. Oh! Go, lad. When he's got the ball. He's taking it easy.
Go, Ryan!
Go,
Ryan!
come on. Go, Hamza. Go, get him. How was that? How was it?
Very good.
You guys enjoy it? Yeah, come on. What's the score? 5-1? 5-1. Come on, you see. 5-1. I didn't foul. That's tactical. It's called Bengali politics skill. I rename it Bengali politics skill.
The whole extravaganza was finished off by a spectacular fireworks display by Brock & Co of London, which lasted up to 2 hours from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. and watched by a crowd of around 60,000 people. The new park was named The Mystery, as the identity of the donor was never known. The press had speculated it may have been Philip Henry Holt, the eminent merchant whose family fortunes were made from the shipping trade. He, along with his brother Alfred Holt, created the hugely successful ocean steamship company known throughout the world as the Blue Funnel Line. The Holt family also owned the Sudley estate. Philip lived on the edge of Sefton Park, but whether he was the mysterious well-wisher was neither confirmed nor denied. Sadly, Philip died in 1914, 19 years after the park was opened. Even today, we still don't know 100% who donated the land.
Whoever that magnanimous person was, be it Philip Holt or another man, the park gave the area a green lung which it desperately needed, and which we, the residents of Wavertree and the whole Liverpool area, appreciate some 130 years later. So thank you to the person who donated.
The park became one of Liverpool's most popular open spaces. It held a number of public events over the century, including a grand pageant to commemorate the 700th anniversary of the town charter in 1907. During the 1950s to 1970s, it was home to the Liverpool Show, a highly respected agricultural, horticultural and civic event held over a few days and attended by hundreds of thousands of people. Today the park is also known locally as Picton Park, in addition to being called the Mystery and Wavertree Playground. There are multiple entrances to the park, but only one way to drive in, and that's from Wellington Road. Once inside, it splits into two parts, both of which has free car parking. On one end is the Wavertree branch of Lifestyle Sports Centre, known as the Aquatics Centre. It got this name after major renovation which included a 50-metre long Olympic standard swimming pool. Next to the sports centre is a day nursery known as Kiddie Academy Wavertree, which opened in November 2013, nearly 10 years ago. Across the large car park is a football astroturf which you can hire to play small games such as 5-a-side or the full pitch for 11-a-side. On the other end is a multi-purpose tennis centre with indoor and outdoor courts. The outdoor space can be used for various activities such as circuit training and netball. Next to the tennis centre is an athletic ground, which has been home to the Liverpool Harriers and Athletic Club since 1990, over 30 years ago. The stand has been named after John Charles Rice, a long-standing club treasurer and key member of the club. A few meters away from the track is a small play area for toddlers and youngsters. Running along the edge of the park on the west side is the railway lines, which is used by both local and national trains on the way to and from the city centre. Near Grant Avenue is the Wavertree Bowling Green. The field in between the bowling green and tennis centre was used for fun fairs in the past. On the opposite side is Prince Alfred Road. Interestingly, this road was originally an old farm track and called Cow's Lane. In 1866, after Samuel R. Graves became Member of Parliament, he played host to Queen Victoria's second son, Prince Alfred, the Duke of Edinburgh. So Samuel requested the local board to rename Cow's Lane to Prince Alfred Road in honour of the Prince, which the board approved. Here there is the Wavertree Church of England School, a primary school based on Christian values and operating from this small Victorian building since 1867, nearly 30 years before the park was founded. Dotted along the road is a variety of old houses. Also on this side is the back entrance of the prestigious The Blue Coat School, a secondary school with its origin dating back to 1708, over 300 years ago. As for the suspected donor, Philip Henry Holt, following his death, two charitable trusts were opened in his honour, the Holt Education Trust and the P.H. Holt Foundation. They are continuing his philanthropy legacy by helping the community in Merseyside. The P.H. Holt Foundation, for example, has donated £4 million over 10 years alone.
Liverpool is home. I've spent most of my life in the Wavertree area and I'm really passionate about the whole area. And Picton Park and Sefton Park has played a huge part in my personal development, which forever I'll be grateful for. But obviously, as with any areas, there are things that can be improved, things that we can do better, to enhance it and whatnot. So these recommendations that I'm going to come up with, it's not a criticism because I love this area. It's just to, enhance its beauty and to make it even more spectacular than what it is. So my first recommendation is this, is for the AstroTurf, the football AstroTurf, for it to be free Monday to Friday from morning till about 5-6 o'clock in the evening, and Saturday and Sunday if there's no matches going on. For the last 15 to 20 years, the Liverpool City Council has locked the Astro, and you can only play in it if you pay for it. Now, if you want to play before 5 o'clock, it's £30 an hour, and if you want to play after 5 o'clock, it's £60 an hour. Considering this is a working class area where the vast majority of people do not have that type of money to be paying, it's it's ridiculous, right? And so what you're getting now, you're getting a lot of youngsters climbing over. I mean, well, that's about 3 meters to 4 meters high. They're climbing over, they're going through those wires, those thin wires, risking their lives, risking potentially breaking their neck, breaking their bones, having permanent damage, all because they're passionate about playing. Now, if the city council, like with any council around the country, is really genuinely passionate about reducing obesity, diabetes, health, other health related issues like high blood pressure, to keep this, youngsters off the street and crime, then you can't be doing things like this where you're charging people to play. Now, growing up, when I was coming here, when I was a youngster, we would play with a lot of random players because we never had, enough players ourselves. Sometimes we'd have 20, sometimes we'd have 5. So we would mix with people on the other pitches, etc., and they would become our footballing friends. They're not necessarily the type of people that would hang around with outside of the Astro, but they became really good footballing friends only because of the Astro. And then you see fathers teaching their daughters and the sons having a little kickabout, and it's beautiful. And by now closing it, by now locking it up, charging people as well, a lot of money as well, how are they supposed to pay 50 quid? How are they supposed to pay 60 quid? How, minimum they need 10 players, so if they have less than 10 players, they can't play, and it's just not nice. So please, Liverpool City Council, please every council around the country, make the national sports, or make the sport that people love, whether it be Astro, or if you're in Bangladesh or in India, for example, where badminton and cricket is the main sport, make it free, make it accessible to the poor, make it accessible to the working class, make it accessible to the youngsters, and give them something back to the society. And obviously goodwill does not keep the the AstroTurf going, you do, or the facilities going. You do need money, so you can still have certain hours of the day where people can still pay and play. Right now, for example, it's just gone like 8 o'clock in the evening, you got people playing, and that's fine. Come 5 o'clock, come 6 o'clock, close it off to booking only, but prior to that, make it free and make it accessible to everyone, because that's what exactly what a public place should be, and the city council that's working for you, that's what you guys should be doing. So please, it's a really passionate plea. It's really close to my heart. If possible, make all the AstroTurf free for certain hours for all the general public. Thank you. My second recommendation is to convert the outdoor tennis courts into a racket centre. It's a huge amount of space, and apart from during summertime when it's Wimbledon and Wimbledon fever, a lot of the time this doesn't get used at all, and this has been here for 20 years and it's empty, and it's a shame. It's a massive space. If we opened a racket centre here with 8 to 10 badminton courts, few squash courts, few paddle tennis, which is becoming very popular, table tennis as well, etc., this could be the racket centre for the whole of Liverpool. And right now we're all fighting for the facilities, for the courts within the various lifestyles. So for example, in badminton, we're all fighting just for 2 or 3 courts. We're booking 1 week in advance, etc. Why not utilize this huge amounts of space that we have here? Why not utilize that and get rid of badminton, squash, and others, those related racket sports from those facilities, and make this 24/7. Make this 24/7, and then with all this parking space that's available as well, it could be the heart of Liverpool when it comes to racket sports, all sorts of racket sports. And how phenomenal would that be? We've got an Olympic standard swimming pool here, we've got an athletics track here, we've got all that playground, and we've got all the racket sports here. And then football obviously as well. So it then captures every sport pretty much in one area, and that would be incredible. Right now it's just waste of space, and it's sad to see it the way it is, but it's got huge potential. The children area right behind me, it is lovely, it's nice, it works really well for youngsters, but it's not really ideal for more elderly children, the teenagers, etc. So it would be nice if it had swings, and if you had lot more stuff for people who are above the age of 6, 7, 8, etc. Right now it's quite limited. It's okay for youngsters, but if you're 10 years old or 11 years old, there isn't anything within this area that you can actually fit into. It's very small. It's not really appealing to the toddlers and to the teenagers as well. So if they can expand the facilities within this area to add a little bit more variety and swings and slides that works for slightly older children as well, it'll be a lot more comprehensive. It would also be lovely if the park had a cafe, or more importantly, even though there are cafes and shops around the park, in the outskirts, in the main roads, etc., what it desperately needs is a toilet. And the reason I say this is the lifestyle sports centres are open weekdays up till 10 o'clock at night, which is perfectly fine. But on the weekend, on Saturday and Sunday, they close at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So if families decide to come to the park, you got your elderlies, you got females, you got children, etc., they have to go home quite early, because if they want to use the toilet, there is no toilet facilities in here. So one thing that would be nice is not only to have a cafe so people can just sit down and relax, just a small one, nothing too great, but more importantly to have a toilet, which then people can utilize and then stay in the park and enjoy it for much more longer. Well, this recommendation is more of a controversial and a sensitive one, but it still needs to be said. What I'd like to see is the dogs being kept on lid, or if not, under better supervision. The vast majority of dog owners that come to the park, they do a great job of looking after the dogs. But you also have to remember, Wavertree is, I would say, the cultural heart of Liverpool. It's made up people of a lot of different faiths, a lot of different cultures, whose relationship with the dog may not be as lovey-dovey as the Englishes are, but then you get a lot of dog owners, and they can see that the other people are maybe scared of dogs, or maybe apprehensive, or they don't like dogs coming close to them. Like, as a Muslim, for example, if a dog licks my clothes or licks myself, I have to have a shower and I have to clean and I have to wash my clothes. And a lot of our children, they get scared when they see dogs. So you see some dog owners, and they always say the usual thing all the time: oh, don't worry, she's friendly or he's friendly, and the dog could be all over you, and they're still on the phone just watching and all that. What I would say to them is, please, have a little bit more consideration for other people. It's lovely, the dogs are friendly, that's what they do by nature, and the park should be for everybody and every animal as well. But having said that, take a little bit into consideration that other people's relationship with something like a dog may not be as like yourself. And as lovely as your dog is, I don't want your dog to be amputating me or to be all over me. I know it's a over the top reaction, but you got to understand that we are a little bit apprehensive about when a dog comes close to us. We do get scared as well. So please, just have a little bit more consideration. Let the dog roam around freely, lovely, but when it goes towards somebody and you can see clearly that they're getting a bit nervous, or they're acting a bit apprehensive, just do the decent thing and call your dog back, or have a little bit more under control. Then it makes it acceptable to everyone. Some view, isn't it? Flat space, no obstruction, beautiful view of the sunset. This, for me, is what I love the most about Picton Park itself. Is when you come here, it's very therapeutic. To see the sun, sunset, and sun rising this way, sunset this way. It's just phenomenal. It's so incredible, and it's very rare that you get this in a major city. Most of the major cities, you've got houses, you've got a lot of obstruction, etc. But here, look how amazing it is. This, for me, what captures the spirit of Picton Park, and it's what I highly recommend to everybody. Whatever you do, if you get an opportunity in Picton Park, come and see this amazing sunset which Allah has gifted us, and just enjoy it from here. It's just absolutely incredible. That's exactly what I'm going to do now. Take care. Allah Hafiz.
Let's go back to why the city's well-wisher donated the land in the first place, for it to be a free playground for everyone.
Out with the first ball. Nice.